Sometimes to make the machine run, you need a little elbow grease. At CUC, you need a lot of grease and fuel and rust proofing and transformers and cables. And come, let me show you what we're doing today. So, Mr. Dennis, this is your area. And just tell me, how long have you been at CUC? What's your history with the plant?
Well, I've been here this year, be 36 on the, off the record, but 35 on the record.
When I was at Georgetown Hospital, you were here.
Yes, sir.
What's inside this warehouse? What do you mainly store here?
Line T&D. And also for production, the engine part of it.
So we have gas?
No gas.
Dry goods mostly?
Right, yes, and mechanical parts.
What is the most requested part that they keep on calling your warehouse and say, we need more, we need more?
Lines.
What is the lifespan of one of these transformers that we see that we cross on every light pole?
It's supposed to be at least 25 years or so.
But not in Cayman, you know.
Yeah, right. That's why we go on to stainless steel.
Yeah.
Yeah, the transformer casing is stainless steel now.
Is this because of our salt air and our conditions?
Right.
I heard you're a seaman. So what was that like, having that huge change in careers? Is this an office job? What do you consider this?
Both office and the warehouse.
The seaman is a dangerous job, and so is working at CUC. So safety is always top of mind. What causes you stress in this job? What gets you worked up?
If we run out of material and don't have it to give the guys, you know.
And we live on an island.
Yeah, right.
We can't go down to cost you less to buy a transformer.
That's right, yeah.
All right. Miss Shirley, nice to meet you. Miss Donna.
Nice to meet you.
So, from what I take it, you are one of the bosses. You get to tell people what to do. You like managing people?
Yes.
Yeah. So, what's an average day for you?
So I'm the supervisor for purchasing because, as you know, it's materials management. So we're split into sections: stores and purchasing.
So I would think that the plant has its purchases, the office has its purchases. Are you talking about that split, or this is a different split?
No, this is purchasing for the entire company. Yeah. So we do all the purchases, everything, from. I think that you went to stores already, right?
We saw
so you
lots
will
of
see
parts.
everything. So everything that you have seen already, we purchase here. When they reach a min-max level, it kicks out a reorder report. It comes here. We go to the vendor who are overseas. All of our transmission, distribution, and engine parts are purchased from overseas. Miss Donna, she purchased all of that and she processed all the invoices to pay. It goes over to accounts and then they do all the payments. Miss Alta, who is unfortunately not here right now, she does all the purchases for the stores. She would go out for prices and issue purchase orders. When purchase orders are signed off, she then sends them out to the vendors.
What are the issues? What's the most common problem you face?
The most common problem we face is when we need purchase orders approved in a timely manner.
And you can't get to Mr. Hugh.
And you can't
You're knocking
get it
on the door. He can't, and he's in a meeting.
Yes. Or managers are just so busy because managers have to approve purchase orders as well.
Do you think you're getting good value for money for what you're buying and factoring in all the costs of shipping? And how do you think you're dealing with the cash?
Oh yes, we're getting good value for money because we have some vendors that they know our specification and they do keep prices for us for a year. So that is very good, that good savings for the company. There's some like transmission distribution, you have to be careful like what type of parts we get because of the environment that we're in. So
And certain things parts may change, or they might want to change technology, but Cayman is probably still phasing out something, so you have to know
Right.
a lot about the equipment and at the same time keep your business hat on.
Exactly. We're surrounded by the sea and we have a lot of salt air. So we have a standards committee here at CUC. Whenever somebody wants to sell us something, it goes through the committee first and they decide on the specification.
We are surrounded by water. What happens in an emergency? How much resources do you have?
We have something set up with Cayman Airways. If we have urgent orders coming in, they don't send shipments on passenger flight, but if we ask them to and it's an emergency, they will put it on the flight for us. We also have British Airways that come in. All our engine parts are from Europe, so we mainly use British Airways. And we also have that relationship with them as well, that if we have something urgent, they will bump off somebody. Cargo.
Yeah. So
If it's an emergency, yes.
Yeah.
Of course.
If there's
Because
an
the
emergency.
engine down, we can't send we can't create our electricity for everybody. So, you know.
So you think you're pretty good at managing your orders and having a good amount of inventory. Does this translate into your personal life? Are you a good shopper when you go to the store? You don't have any waste in your fridge?
When I go, no, I'm a pretty good shopper. Because I try to save money for CUC, so I try to save for myself too.
Thank you very much, Ms. Shirley.
Thank you. Nice to meet you.
Today, speaking with Mr. Chad Powell, Manager of Materials Management. Big title. And on that computer, I'm sure you're spending a lot of cash to buy all of the materials that I saw today. So what's a typical order like?
Well, we range from small orders from, a couple $100 to well over in the hundreds of thousands of dollars, depending on what it is that we're ordering. Typical overhaul kit for an engine can range as far as up to $500,000.
Are you shopping around? How are you ensuring that your money is spent wisely?
So the standards committee that we have composed of many different individuals across the company, they dictate what we should be purchasing and the quality that has to come with it. However, we have a purchasing team that is very rigorous. They will shop around and try to get the best bang for the buck. And they will also negotiate with all of our suppliers and vendors.
How does it work for importing such big items, and how do you work with the government to get it cleared? What are the logistics?
We have a logistics coordinator, and then we also have a senior logistics coordinator, Carlos, who's been with us for many, many years. Carlos is by all means the expert. So he goes down, everybody knows Carlos. So when they see Carlos coming in, it's like, okay, we know this is CUC, this is not nothing else.
Right.
And so he gets prioritized sometimes because of his nature and how he talks and how he treats people, because he does have a very good demeanor. It's probably taught him a lot of patience over the years. As I came into the role about 2 years ago, one thing I've learned very quickly is that this is Mr. Dennis's warehouse, regardless of what anybody wants to say.
Okay.
So he runs a very tight ship. He has everything structured in a very proper manner, and then the team contributes as well. So it's not just a one-man show at any given point in time, but it's a full team effort. However, Mr. Dennis is the boss when it comes to the warehouse. Miss Shirley, she's been with the company now for about 30 years, and she is very good at what she does as well. She also has a very experienced team with her who is very capable of doing what they do. So my role is more just kind of facilitating, make sure that they get what they need, but in the end, they're the boss of their own areas. So one of the items that we've invested a lot in over the past 2 years is putting in or implementing an RFID system, which you've seen some of the devices in the warehouse. And what that is the ability to track things live in the warehouse, so we can know what goes in, what comes out, and we can do daily reconciliation. Previously, with our high price items, what happens is that we need to physically count every single one of these items. And once we're finished with the RFID system and implementing some newer technologies such as weighing and so forth, we'll be able to count what would take a 6-month span in approximately about 2 to 3 weeks. So it's moving more towards making the team more useful at what they're good at rather than completing these mundane tasks.
When I was walking through the warehouse, I noticed how easy it was to get a stack of boxes. Maybe it weighed over 1,000 pounds from the top of the ceiling and to the door in maybe 10 seconds. So you guys are looking at technology to be the most efficient.
A lot of our parts and materials get corroded because of the natural environment they're in, and it's not economically friendly for us to air condition or put the entire warehouse in a humidity controlled environment. It just wouldn't be feasible. So as a countermeasure, what we did was we did some testing. We sent a few of our parts overseas to a facility in California. They vacuum sealed the parts and sent it back to us. We put it in the most vigorous environment, tested it to see how it would stand up, and it stood up for a period of well over 6 months when compared to untreated or unprotected. So what we did then was we invested in the vacuum sealer, and it works basically for what it is. Just like how you would save your food or any other types of products, you basically would put the goods into it, you seal it, and we actually have a little bit of countermeasures as well. So we have desiccants that we add to it and a humidity identification tag, so that once humidity creeps in, be through means of leaks or any type of saturation, we'll be able to detect it visually very quickly.
You took me for a tour, and I got to see your all of the storage of the poles and the scrap metal yard. There's a lot of space in the back there. Do you plan to keep on bringing items in and filling this yard up? Where is CUC going 20 years down the line?
We're actually exploring 3D printing. So we're looking at exploring with our engineering group at actually being able to purchase and obtain the possibility of a 3D printer. This would allow us to make products on demand. It would allow us for products that have become totally obsolete, that we can remanufacture them ourselves, and we can just basically produce on demand for our customers. Versus having to import, pay all the extra duties for importing. Now we can bring in raw materials and sort of create a manufacturer right here in the warehouse.
Who says Cayman can't manufacture goods? It could happen right here. Let's see.
So 10 years ago, everything had to be manually counted, looked at, and verified. We've now moved from then into barcodes, which is your typical standard stock keeping facility or stock keeping technology. What we're advancing into now is QR code or quick response codes. As I showed you in the warehouse, this allows us to have access to massive amount of data in a very short term. The item that I showed you was being able to put the SDS or the safety data sheet right onto the product itself without having to carry around these bulky papers with you, and having to, especially in the environment that the guy is working, if they're having papers and as you could see, it was windy, blowing all over the place. So now it keeps everything full electronic and ready on demand.
And of course, it's probably integrated into your desktop here, so the team can see it as well.
Yes, that's good.
I got a good understanding of the poles, the length, the uses. What do you do when you need to get rid of these poles, when you need to get rid of these transformers and all of this equipment?
Any used pole that comes in that's not deemed to go back out into service, we keep it stored here on site, and we actually offer it as a service or as a promotional tool to give away to customers or employees. So if it's for personal use or any type of recreational or anything that is a non-profit organization, they're more than welcome to come and take it free of charge. If it is for purpose and it is for some type of business venture, then we just charge a small fee of $2 per linear foot. Anybody who makes contact with us, they come, they cut the pole to their own desired length, and then they collect it and be on their way.
I could see artists, I could see carpenters, some of that stuff. There was one of the what do you call it? It wraps cable. What's it called? It's like a big wheel that you wrap the cable on.
Oh, the wire wheels.
The wire wheels.
Yeah, the wire reel, yeah.
You turn it sideways, and it's a big table.
Yes.
Yeah, with some big bar stools. So you can repurpose this stuff.
Yes, we try at all times to try and reuse first before we get into recycling. So we do have a bunch of individuals who contact us every now and then that want these wire reels so that they can make tables. Some people would take the poles and they'll make like little fences in the front of their yard, or they'll even make stools out of it. We would love to see, like, you know, the artists and I'm not sure what the term is from, but the metal artists.
Yeah.
We would love to see them come and collect some goods, and, you know, maybe they could make a spark out of it or something, that they could make a nice structure that they could be aesthetically pleasing.
That's the challenge to the artists, build something big.
We have, over the past 2 years now, we've ventured into recycling off island directly, as opposed to trying to use local facilities and having it stored at the dump. And what we found was that it was very easy. It's much easier than what we thought, and it was very economical as well.
The ship is going back anyway.
Exactly.
The containers are going back anyway.
Yes.
Let's fill them back up.
Yes, and I'm very pleased to say too that, you know, we did speak to our vendors, our shippers, and they were more than willing to work with us with the understanding that it's contributing to a bigger cause. It's not just for CUC. It is protecting the environment. It is adding to the already catastrophic landfill. So they were more than willing to work with us. And by doing so, we were able in 2019 to recycle over 150 tons of scrap metals. That is a big impact taken off island. And again, it's done at a very high standard, so it's not sent to any facility that encourages any type of child labor or any type of other environmental impacts that wouldn't be pleasing. We stick to our standard of ISO 14001, and we live by it.
So you seem to know what is in your warehouse. The last question is, do you think that there's anything in there that you don't know about?
I never say never. But yes, I mean, we do have a good understanding of what the warehouse entails and stuff like that. But it's not to say that we won't miss anything. We're not perfect.
You have any rats?
No rats. We do have a cat on site. We do have a cat. We haven't named her yet, but she's been around for a while. She's had kittens and they've moved on. But we just, you know, we let her be because we know that understanding she'll keep the rats and pests away.
It's a part of life. I got to meet a few members of the team, but the intern stood out.
We have a very special guy that works with us named Tristan, and it actually originated from Mr. Dennis. This was his idea.
This is Mr. Dennis' plan.
Yes.
Mr. Dennis' warehouse. What he says goes.
So Mr. Dennis went away on a cross-training program in Arizona with one of our sister companies. And he came back with many ideas, but this was one of them. And he was very adamant about. So again, it took a lot of work, a lot of effort with multiple parties. We worked with HR, we worked with Miss Pat, and it came together eventually. And what happened was we got him in here, we took him through an interview process, so he got to actually participate and, you know, he got to see what it's like to become a real member of CUC. Tristan has been with us now for over a year, and it has just been a pleasure. It has its ups, it has its downs. He reminds us to be humble, and he certainly helps us to grow in our patience and learning. But also to, you know, it's giving back into the community because we have the opportunity to, you know, just allow him to be a normal individual, which he is. It's just that most people don't understand, you know, people with Down syndrome of Tristan's nature. But he's a very pleasing young man. He cracks jokes. He's become very familiar with us. He's very comfortable, and he is now officially a part of the CUC team.
Well, thank you, Chad. You seem to run a good ship, and I will know that CUC has what it needs if you are in the seat.
Thanks, Matt.
Yeah, man.
Thanks to Miss Pat and everybody else for accommodating us and just taking a look and seeing what we're about.
Yeah, man. Very interesting.